Woo! Welcome back to Set Streets and Eats, guys. I am down at the Riverfront Park here in Charleston, South Carolina with my friend Little P.
Hey!
Paola's back. Timbo's over there sulking for some reason. He's being cool. Our friend Ariel is here too. We are gonna go check Charleston out. It's actually, I think, all of our first times here. Ariel's been here before, but the other three is our first time. It's a really cool city. We're down here at the Riverfront where you've got Fort Sumter, which is a Civil War fort that sparked the Civil War right out here in the harbor. You got the USS Yorktown, which is a floating military museum now. You got bridges and historical landmarks and parks and fountains and a lot of great food, and we're gonna go check out all of it. Let's travel.
I'm Chris Bauer, and I am an art slinger. I travel around the U.S. selling artwork at comic and anime conventions, and while I'm there, I like to check out cool sites, eat great food, and see all the places my favorite movies and TV shows are made. Welcome to Sets, Streets, and Eats.
We are on the campus of the College of Charleston, and we are checking out, it opened in 1770, and we're gonna check some of the historical sites. Also, they filmed part of The Patriot here with Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger.
We're standing here in front of Randolph Hall, which is on the is also known as the set for line. Now I'm overthinking it. Sorry. Okay, take 3.
And go.
We're standing in front of Randolph Hall on We're standing right in front of Randolph Hall on the College of Charleston campus. This hall is not only known for educating the minds of young people, but it was also the movie set for the assembly meeting scenes during the film The Patriot, starring Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger. So there's two types of crepes here. There are savory and there are sweet. However, the savory ones are made with a different batter than what people typically like associate with crepes. It's like a white, like lighter color to the crepe. However, the savory crepes, they're made with buckwheat flour. They're very crisp, and they definitely have like a crispy texture to them, and they're my personal favorite for savory crepes. Can't really speak it.
Well, that sounds so lame.
Yeah, I can only like sing.
I can't even do anything. It's beautiful.
We call that le perfection. Paula makes her moans.
It's been like 4 years since I've had a buckwheat crepe, and I'm just like, I got my egg sunny side up, and it's like in the middle of the crepe, so I'm just like cutting off pieces and like dipping it in the yolk. It's my favorite part. I love the yolk.
That's not euphemism, that's real. Definitely.
Okay.
This has bacon and
Oops.
goat cheese and honey
You paid for yours?
and walnuts. This is fantastic.
Maybe they forgot.
Oh my god. That's amazing. I love it. You need nothing.
For too close, I forgot. Sure. For the missing,
Right.
I don't know what's happened. Where is it?
Oh,
Thank you.
The thing, it didn't print the ticket, is what it sounds like.
Oh. Thank you.
Merci, c'est délicieux.
Belay.
Uncultured swine.
Belay. Breizh.
It's going.
Breizh. Breizh.
Just
It's an
say
R, right?
Breizh,
Yeah, Breizh.
and then add the on the R.
Is it like a beret?
Breizh?
Berets?
It's not that
a
hard.
hat?
Breizh.
Breizh.
Oh my god, you're still just saying Blaze.
Raspberry Breizh.
Blaze.
Paula in Google pronounced where we're at correctly. It's a delicious creperie that I highly recommend, that I, in my flat American horrible accent, cannot seem to pronounce correctly.
It's true.
But absolutely delicious.
I need another one of these ice cream things.
Stupid
Oh my God.
American.
Huh?
Les stupides Americains. This is real pretty.
We're on a chessboard. Knight takes rook. 1807. Taking a stroll through the city market. It's established in 1807. It's got vendors every day selling a variety of goods. Grits and jams, head braids, lots of jewelry, artwork with butterflies, guitars. That's cool. I know.
Dude, that is like...
Cleared it by an inch. Low ceilings. Or even on weekends, really. All of it's connected. Tim, you get 8 more scarves. Go on a scarf shopping spree.
We are here in front of the old Charleston Jail. This is a site of historical and architectural significance here in Charleston, South Carolina. This was opened between 1802 and 1939. holding notable figures. Among them were Denmark Vesey, Union officers during the Civil War, high seas pirates, and Lavinia Fisher, reported by some legends to have been the first female serial killer in the United States of America. Her origins are really unknown. However, she resided in the United States for much of her life. She was married to John Fisher, and actually, instead of committing the murder she was accused of in legend, they were both convicted of highway robbery, a capital offense, not murder. But either way, the stories came about. Many historians ended up questioning the veracity of the legend, and some assert that Lavinia Fisher never killed anyone. She was, however, an active member of a large gang of highwaymen who operated out of 2 houses in the backcountry close to Charleston, the 5 Mile House and the 6 Mile House. It's not really clear whether the 6 Mile House was a hotel, but it served as a hideout for a number of outlaws. So a full year went by between the time of her arrest, or her and her husband's arrest, and their execution. They pleaded not guilty, but you know, they ended up going to jail without trial. So, I mean, story goes, you know, she haunts these halls. She's a woman in white that haunts this place.
So we were at a place called Five Church. It is a restaurant with a beautiful bar that was obviously once a church.
Fun fact,
Yeah.
it's called Five Church because the original Five Church store is on the corner of 5th and Church Street in Charlotte.
Okay.
And then when they saw that this building was available, they said, what's better place to go to Five Church in an actual church?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. They've got writing all over the ceiling, which I can't tell what it is. Let's see. Do you want to try this, Paula? This is delicious. It has to be, because I have not had tequila in like 20 years because I got hammered on it one night, just never drank it again. Unfortunately, it was cheap tequila, which is the worst kind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, man, that was the worst hangover. They have cucumber water, absolutely delicious. And this is a raspberry locally brewed. I wouldn't say, I think if you said IPA or not, but it is very tangy and delicious. What are you getting, Paula?
Moving it pretty soon anyway.
The Saison beer.
Saison, you say? Excellent.
Taste the Saison.
It's a raspberry, how was your tangerine Saison?
It's really refreshing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like a lot of those citrus beers. When they're not too like thick, they have that good like finish.
Yeah, it finishes more like a Saison.
We have enjoyed our happy hour.
I am so excited.
I mean, I felt happy with it.
I mean, you should feel happy.
That's true. I only had to pay $11 to get drunk. So I had 3 delicious beers, and now I'm ready for dinner. And dinner's going to be delicious as well. I'm very excited. A little bit buzzed. I'm feeling it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't eat today, so this was pretty good. And now we are going for some Southern home cooking. at a very fancy restaurant in the French Quarter of Charleston, South Carolina. I like it. This cornbread is fantastic. So crispy on the edges.
Water is fine.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So good.
So it's got pork infused butter. It's fantastic.
Will you some more butter? Or buttermilk, please?
Buttermilk? Ooh. Put the cornbread in it? I remember my grandpa doing that. That's right.
What is that?
Yeah, they would break up the cornbread in like a bowl and pour the buttermilk over it. I remember that. Wow, that's an old memory. I bet I was like 5 or 6 when I watched him doing that.
It's like when we were at the
I've never
site,
tried
the
it.
lights
No.
I just remember him eating it. That was how he ate it.
Being everywhere.
availability.
I remember thinking it was gross looking when I was a kid, but now I clearly remember him. That's exactly how he ate it. Breaking up that cornbread in it. It's pretty cool.
Stop defending him.
Stop defending him.
Cheers, everybody.
Yes.
Good weekend. I'm glad y'all here. I was,
Pork belly lettuce wraps.
Yes.
I will take the oysters.
The oysters go in front of her. Yeah, she's like, don't even mess around. They're going in front of me.
you never know.
Pork lettuce wraps. We got pork, some kind of seasoning,
Lettuce.
Obviously
Definitely
lettuce. And onion, red
Trying to
onion.
find the round.
But I don't know what sauce we have on it, but it looks awesome. That's fantastic. Wow. It's got a little spice. You might want to avoid that, Timbo.
Sounds good.
Slurp it down.
By the way, just so you know.
Now, are those raw oysters?
They are wood-fired.
Wood-fired oysters.
Wood-fired
Okay.
oysters. They are incredible. So this pork is over a pasta dish. It's got fresh
Is it good?
fresh spinach, tomatoes. Yeah, the sauce has got this little spice to it that's very satisfying.
You said you made the right choice. That's awesome. That's better than the Catholic.
Oh my god.
That is so good.
Oh my god.
That pork falls apart in your mouth. That was magnificent. I literally ate that in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, you did.
It was so good.
You're like, I'm not hungry.
I really wasn't that hungry. That was just so tremendously tasty though. That pork was so tender. So as you can tell, it's gotten darker outside while we've been in here. Now we have mood lighting for dinner. It's very moody. I just finished my pork. It was tremendous.
Nailed it.
I literally did. I didn't mean to.
I thought it was steak.
This was a heritage porch with a ganache sardi, butter beans, preserved tomatoes, and baby spinach, and assorted spices. It was tremendous.
Right there.
Really, really good. Cornbread, lettuce wraps,
Rip that off.
magnificent. That was dynamite. Kaminsky's was phenomenal. That was a fantastic brownie sundae I just ate. Probably shouldn't have eaten all of it. Anyway, I'm running back to the car to grab my jacket because we're gonna go hook up with our buddy Jimmy, and we are gonna go on a haunted ghost tour. Ooh. So Tim, Paola, and Jimmy and I are gonna go on a ghost tour of Charleston. Pretty stoked about it. Pretty sure we're gonna see a lot of ghosts. Lots of ghosts. It's a little chilly. Perfect for ghost watching. We'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky. So we are about to start the tour, the ghost walk through Charleston. I'm just a silhouette right now. There we go. We got Paola, Timbo, and Jimbo behind me talking to our tour guide, Mike Brown. So I'm pretty excited to see what he has to show us. I hope it's spooky.
Well, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Mike Brown. To tell you a little bit about me, I was born and raised here in Charleston. I've been a tour guide for 26 years now. I've been giving ghost tours for 24 years now. And over the last 24 years, I've had the opportunity to meet and interview quite a number of people who've described some pretty strange experiences here in the historic district. And so one of them is the lookout, and he's standing at the cell door, and he senses that someone is coming. And so he gives the signal, everyone stops what they're doing. He expects to see one of the guards. He's shocked when out of the shadows steps what he described as a beautiful woman in a white dress. And this is in the middle of the night. And she doesn't look at him, she doesn't speak to him, she walks past the cell and disappears into the shadows at the other end of the hall. Who has the distinction of being the first white woman to be hanged in South Carolina.
Are you going to make it, Paola?
I'm so scared.
You should be.
I'm scared I won't eat.
Wish I was that scared. That would really help me out.
Before we continue on to Pugin's Porch, I just want to point this out because I think it's kind of interesting. This is the courthouse where the Fishers were put on trial. But more interesting than that, this courthouse was also the inspiration for the White House. Wow. It was designed by an architect named James Hoban. He won a contest, beating out people like Thomas Jefferson for the privilege of designing the original White House. And he based his design on this courthouse. When the original White House was burned to the ground in 1814, Hoban was brought back to start over, and it took him about 15 years to finish the second one. Interestingly enough, if you Google most haunted buildings in the world, the White House will often make the top 10 of those types of lists.
Have you been scared yet?
I pissed myself.
That's colorful. Thank you for the update. It's pretty cool so far. We're in the French Quarter now, heading to a haunted restaurant.
Pugin's Porch, great restaurant. For years here, big hotel. Particularly those standing up above that look across the Pugin's. They have from time to time, late at night, looked out their hotel room window, and it was sudden. So this gate is into this long, and at the back of this alley, it's almost like a block long. At the back of that alley is another gate that enters into a graveyard belonging to the Unitarian Church. A number of years ago, there was an antique dealer here on King Street, a Mr. Peterson. Up late one night doing inventory, he decides it's time to go home. He lives on the next street over. In those days, they didn't lock the gates at night. And so Peterson, rather than walk around the graveyard as he normally would do, decides to go through it.
I'll be the first to say it. They got demon snakes. Let's go with this shortcut. Yeah, let's go this dark alley. No big deal.
Here in the city. He also conducted 3 different witch trials in Charleston. And you don't hear about the Charleston witch trials, and the reason you don't hear about them is no one was executed. It was a decade after the Salem witch trials, and they're likely connected, because right after Salem, you had a large group of people from the vicinity of Salem moved to Charleston, and within a few years of their arrival, he realized that his wife wasn't next to him anymore. And he turns around and she had stopped in front of the gate and he could see that she was crying. And he walks back to her and he says, "Are you okay? What happened?" And she looks at him and she says, "She buried her heart here." And he has no idea what she's talking about. Well, as they're standing here, a car pulls over and a lady gets out of the car.
And that's the end of the tour. That was pretty cool. That church, you can see behind me, it's a very old church. Anyway, it was a pretty neat tour. Walked all around this old part of Charleston, built back in the 1800s. These streets are ancient. It's pretty neat. Anyway, it's a really good tour. Mike did a very good job of telling stories, and they're very good. And he runs a podcast as well, and it's pretty cool.